Hi Internet viewers, Frank Rauscher again. Had a little trouble with my videos. I hope I didn't get you confused. I seem to have published a duplicate and I hope you didn't receive it. I'm going to try to redo this again and get things straightened out. We had burnt this portion of the wing and I showed you how to do that. We're going to do this portion now on the video, and we're going to do this portion down in here, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm trying to get another video to get my act together here again so that we can show you exactly what you need to do in there, and we'll get this thing straightened out. We're on part 19, and I think I had published by accident part 18 twice. So I'm trying to keep you in sequencing here so that we could keep you straight and keep me straight too. And I did something. I had some problems within the system itself, and something I did wrong. So I just want to let you know that, and we're going to follow up now with part 19 altogether, and hopefully this will do it. So bear with me, and we'll show you how we continue on putting feathers on the wings and so on, and we'll be moving our way down on the bird. Okay? Thanks again for hanging in there with me. Okay. Now, we marked all of this out, and it's similar. You know, I'm going to just go over some of this real quick. We started with small feathers in here, and we made these C's, and we didn't close them as we swept down here. And we did the same thing over here. We made these C's a little larger as we came back, and I didn't close them so that we can start building from within, and we sort of piggyback as we come down. And this has a certain flow this way, coming down this way, and same way on this, and then we fill these in here. And the principle is these are smaller feathers up here, and they get a little bigger as they come back, and then they get smaller again down here, okay? So keep that in mind, and if you were able to follow me on this grouping here, I'm going to ask you to duplicate that over in here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do this area, and then you will do it over on this side. So bear with me here. I'm going to get my burning unit, and we're going to do basically the same thing we've done here in here, and likewise what I did here I'm going to do here. So I'm going to come in, because what we want to do is give this a little more lift. And I'm taking license here, as I had spoken before about it. I'm going to burn in. And I find that by lifting the feathers, it just makes it more appealing, okay? If I got to state that, okay? And what we're trying to do is, when we get done, we're trying to make the bird realistic looking, okay? And I try to enhance some of the feathers, and if I didn't say it before, I'll say it again. We are trying to give it a little more, if you want to call it realism, or looking like that. I try to lift the feathers, and that's what we're going to do in this area, just similar to what we did here. I'm going to come in and burn these. Now, if you noticed in the last video, I had you burning from the outside in, and I hope I explained that correctly. My purpose on that was we're lifting the back end of the C, and what I'm trying to do is softening it, believe it or not, even after we lift it, to give it a little step up. But in reality, these birds' feathers are so soft, and they just lay flat as can be, and you don't even notice it as far as any lifting at all. But this is where we come in to exaggerate a little bit. And I know I had some comments about the way we do it. This is just my style of doing it, okay? Some of you may come up with your own style. I tend to like the look, and I'm showing you my way of doing it, but I'm always going to tell you, you just keep your eyes and ears peeled to the idea that I'm teaching you one method, and you can learn from a lot of people, and you're going to find that maybe some people don't do it my way, and that's fine too, you know. And my feeling is that you will come up with a style of your own as you go. And as I ran classes, I always found that some of the time when we end up burning the whole bird, some people love the look of it just the way it is, and they stop the bird and they don't finish it like I would, and that's paint it. So, you know, it's all a matter of taste and what you like. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. You're creating this, you know, to the style you like. And I tend to love detail, and I tend to go a little over the top as far as detail goes. And I'm going to show you my method, and it's what I think works in my mind anyway, but you'll determine what you like, and maybe some of the steps I'm doing you want to skip. That's up to you, and that makes you the creator of your bird to the style you want. And you got to realize that when this got started, I guess from decoys were working decoys, and they were called smoothies in the sense that nothing was raised on them other than, you know, the head and the shape. But after that, it was strictly a working decoy that was painted to look like the duck. And that was the way it started. And then if you ever get a chance and look up, I think the Ward Foundation puts it out, there's a film on the Ward brothers, and that's how the organization got founded, I believe, through them. They start making these decorative decoys, and it's just amazing. You know, the one brother carved, the other brother painted, and they're quite a collectible item now. But they started a lot of this bird carving in a sense, and that is where we are today. And I can't say enough about, if you ever have an opportunity, I keep on saying this, if you're ever in the Maryland area, at the end of April, they have a 3-day show. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you want to see the best in the world out there, it will blow your mind. And you'll really see some carvings. And I'm just touching the surface. I'm trying to make you do some things that are somewhat competitive, but you have to see it. And then if you ever get some carving books out there, you'll see, like with me, I taught classes and I thought about writing a book, but I never got around to doing it. But I've taught. Now that I have an opportunity to go on to YouTube and show you how, this is what I'm trying to do, and it's not my book anymore. It's the way I do it. So, in essence, all these pencil lines I burned in. Okay, now, and one thing I meant to state to you, and if I got to say, you got to sand these. You got to sand these areas before you even start burning. Makes life a lot easier for you. You don't want a rough surface. And I don't mean it has to be sanded to as smooth as can be, but at least get the ruts out of there so that when your burning pen goes through, it glides through. You want to have a nice, smooth, somewhat smooth surface, okay, that's workable. Now we're going to rough it up a little bit. And what I'm doing, I'm getting the flame ruby. You can use the bullet shape, which is this guy here. I'll bring this in. This is a diamond. You know, it's anything that's got a point to it that's diamond. Diamond will cut fairly easy. I like the ruby because it's a little more forgiving. So what I'm going to do is undercut behind the C. I want to get a little bit of lift, and I want to try to lay my bit almost flat over that area. And then I'm going to come in and come all the way around. And I'm not worrying about the lines that I just burned in. I'm trying to lift that back end of the C. And if you notice, the bit I'm trying to keep almost flat. You know, I get the point in there, don't get me wrong. And I'm trying to smooth some of this out. If you could see where it's shaded because I didn't. So you could come in and just barely touch it to smooth it out a little bit. You can do that with a light touch. Okay. None of this is aggressive at all. I'm letting this bit, basically, I'm guiding it, but I'm not pressing in. And here's some of the shadowing that happens here because the bit cut from here to here and didn't do this. So if you want to just touch it lightly, it's almost like sanding it, you know? And you don't want to go into your burn over here. You want to try to avoid that. Okay. Let me get this big one. I'm going to come up in here. So you're trying to get a lip around the back end of the seed. And don't try to avoid this like burn line here. I go right over the top of it. It will be there and it will survive. And if need be, you could always go back in and burn it again if you think you lost it completely, but you shouldn't be going that deep to lose it. So you can see what I'm doing here. Even though I went over it, it's still visible to you, and you just follow it. And I didn't burn real deep to get that in there. But that's something you're going to have to experiment with to see how you handle it. And then you can determine as you go, you know. And a lot of times, look at it this way. You may not get it the first time, but, you know, try again, you know. Not everything comes the first time. Boy, I learned that a long time ago when I got into this. And I did a chickadee in the beginning, and I should show you that. My first chickadee, I thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. And guess what? I saved it. A year later, I did another one. Didn't even look like the first one. And then I did another one after that a year later. What a difference between years. And today, it doesn't even look like the one I did at all, you know. It's hopefully it will improve the more you do. So consider that. It's a learning process. And you can, the one thing that's great is you're learning how to do an owl here, but you can apply this to other birds or your carvings, you know, especially if you're doing birds, because we're relieving feathers right now. And I'm just undercutting the back end. Now, in some cases, with some of the birds, I want it even more exaggerated. I come in on the front end of the C, and I go down, and then I make like a belly, like this drops down on this side, and this rolls down on this side, and I do that sometime, and you'll see me do that, and I'll even exaggerate it more because I'm looking for a certain look. And some feathers, depending, like on ducks and stuff like that, they stand out more, and they're bigger, and you get a better chance to really show them off. But it's knowing when to and when not to. And like I said, you can learn from everybody and then put it into your style of how to develop things with the bird, I should say. So there we are. But just remember, I'm not going real deep, and I'm undercutting around the C, and then I try to blend it away. I don't want any ruts or anything like that. And I keep my finger on the piece when I'm doing this, because I'm just trying to glide through it. I'm not trying to press like heck. I'm just getting that point in there. And it's a touchy-feely type thing, okay? I can't express that anymore. And You know, in some cases we get aggressive, like in here, we really gouge that out. That's a different story. On the feathers, we're trying to make that really smooth. Okay. Now, the other group I want you to pay attention to is this group down here. Okay. And this feather comes from here. It comes around. Remember, we had this one come over and it butts up here. So this looks like it's laying over on top of this group. So this comes out this way. It comes around and it goes out this way. So it's aiming this way. Now, that is going to set up this whole row because I'm going to make another line, probably about 4 millimeters out. And for those who are doing feet and inches, it's about 1/8 of an inch or a little bit more than that. And then I peel it around, okay? And then I do another one. And then the same direction, okay? Like this, like this, and this, this, and this, and it turns. Now, as I get to about here, I want to go a little bit bigger, okay, in the spacing here. Now, I'm going to come out just a little bit wider and turn. Let's see. Make sure I'm doing the right thing. Yeah. Yep. Now, I'm going to, again, I'm still trying to keep that same direction. Okay, and if you look at the pattern, you can see it right in here, right now. So here we go. I'm going to come down just a little bit wider. And just to give you a measurement, I'm going to say about 5 millimeters, okay? And you don't want to get smaller than that, that's for sure. I'll keep on doing that. And then I'm coming down. And what you can do, if, you know, I can draw pretty good. You can do it lightly, and then if it's not right, you can always erase it out and do it again, you know. It's not that big a deal. Now, I'm looking at the spacing between here and here. I'm going to split this just so it balances out. So I'm going to count this, but you could have another number in here. It doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? If you get an extra one in there, I'm not going to tell anybody. Okay? Now, here's what we want to do. I'm going to come around. And I'm going to burn all the way around. I do half the feather, and then I do the other half. Pull down. Now I'm going to go this way because it may be easier. I'm going to flow this down. Then I'll pull this. Well, let me go the whole thing. Okay, and then I'll pull this in. Okay, now I'm going to go here, right on the line, and I'm going to try swinging that all the way around. Follow that line. There we go. Then I'm going to do another one. what we're going to do is we're going to burn in all these lines that I put in here. Hope you can see this well. And I hope it's in the camera range. I apologize because I drift a lot. Don't even realize it because I can't see what I'm doing while I'm doing it. I'm filming it. But I'm going to do more checking on my videos before I publish it so that I have a correct. Now watch when you come around this corner you want to get a little bit, I'm pressing in a little bit here on these lines. So it's not a finesse type burn here. I'm leaning a little bit, just to let you know. And then we have this one out here. That swings right up. Just the way we lifted it, we had this grouping. Now there's the grouping. Now, let me show you what I want done. Here we go again. We're back to the flame, or whatever bit you may have that will suffice. You want to get in and undercut. This has already been undercut, so we're okay there. So we're undercutting out here. You're getting your point, and you're not going for a real deep lift. You're really not. Similar to what we did here. I'm going to smooth this out a little bit, like that. Then I'm going to do the next one. And then I'm going to do the next one. Most of these don't have to be lifted that much because we lifted a lot of this grouping already. So we're just coming up to this burn line more than anything else. And if you're doing it right, you're laying the bit down and it's almost covering the whole feather, and you're undercutting it a little bit. If you want to just smooth them all out a little bit, you can, like I'm doing here. And then I come around and I get a little lift. Not going for a great big lift. Try to leave the bit do the walking. And I'm just guiding it. And like I said, it takes a little bit of practice. Everything that I do may look easy, but it didn't start out that way. I'll be honest with you. There's a learning curve, and hopefully a lot of you can achieve what I'm doing fairly easy, I hope. But I know in teaching classes, some pick it up faster than others, and that happens. Notice I do not go into the feather area up in front here. Okay. And I just lift the ends here. Now, see how this is irregular up in here? I'm just going to smooth that out real lightly. You can see how some of the shadowing goes away. And blend it back. There you go. Now, like I said before, I put like a quill in these feathers. So here's the direction we go. We have a, these are so little. I'm putting a quill here, here. Now this one is sort of pointed this way, and then this one goes this way. This one goes this way. It's sort of going in the direction we're turning here. And this goes like this. This can go like this. This can go like this. 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 Now, I'll go back up to here. We got this outside row coming down. So it's coming down, so it's like this, like this, like this, 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 this. Now, these guys in the middle are sort of pointing straight up, like, you know. So they're rolling a little bit, but not that much. They're sort of in between this and this. And come down. Now I get that one. Okay. Now, I'm going to put a quill on this feather right here. Now, when I do quills for like this grouping here, I'm just going to come straight down. We're going to, just like line work. So I'm going to come in. I'm going to just get my point in there. Just a little quill right in there. Getting this one. This one, I'll go right down this grouping here. And again, I'm pressing a little bit, but you don't want to press like you're going to Kingdom Come. You're really not. I'll get this little one down in here. Then I'll do these. Like so. This. This. Oop, I forgot one. I'll put one right in there. Right there. Put that one. And I'm trying to get most of the surface being touched, you know, not the point like we did up in here. You're trying to do it with the point raised. This is more or less you're laying it almost flat, then pulling it. Okay, so I'm trying to use the surface of the burning tip and not the tip like we are on the top of the head. That's just the tip. If you have like a spear shaped burning pen, that works great for the top of the head here. For here, you want a little more surface so that you push straight lines and get a groove going. There you go. So I did that quill down there. Now, the trick is, if you remember, all the raised section, I burn from the outside in. So I come in here, and I go right to the edge, and I go on a 45-degree angle. So I strut it in, and I don't want to go past the quill, so you got to sort of learn how to control that burn, the stop, and I sort of, I don't know, flick it, I guess, or something like that. It's just a knack that I have for it. I would say you would have to practice to try to get that the way I do it, because I've been doing it for so long I don't even think about it. But it is like I burn in and then lift. So it's just something I developed, and I know how to stop it short of the quill. So I don't know how hard that is for some people, because I've been doing this so long that I'm not remembering what my students had a problem with as far as burning goes. But practice on a piece of plywood that's a smooth surface is great, and see if you can't get the knack that I'm doing. I don't know if it's visible to you. It's like I lean in on the edge. I can feel the edge to lift, and then what's another thing that may help some of you is, if you want to do it, it's a little more work, is where I'm stroking this on a 45-degree angle. You may want to pencil that in so that you don't even think about it, and you're just following the line work, similar to what we did in the face, okay? That's another way of doing it. I've been doing this so long that I don't even think about it, but pencil lines guiding you will help a lot, Maybe that's a thing that I should remember. I think maybe I did that in the beginning, because if you see the pencil lines, you just follow on the pencil lines, okay? And if you get some spacing between, you don't get your burn tight enough, practice that too. Try to get it as tight as you can. And if you miss something, like I think I missed something right in here, I'll just come in, not too heavy of a burn, but just glide right through it, But I would like to say that I probably make it look easy. And it's been a while since I ran a class that I don't remember. I know some of my students had the knack of it real quick, and then other people fought it a little bit, but it takes a little practice. And the one nice thing, if you screw up a little bit, sand it out, or start over again. You know what I mean? Don't feel as though you can't resurrect it. You know what I mean? You just don't want to sand too deep. You're just trying to just get rid of the burn or something like that, and sand it over. And I have those little sanders that get you in there if you ever need that, and that gets you into tight areas, and it sands it out real nice. And when you're sanding, if you're doing any rotary sanding with the micro grinders and Dremels or whatever, you want to do that at half speed, because you don't want to burn too, you don't want to sand with a lot of speed. Most of the time the sandpaper wants to blow up on you, and you want to keep it under control, and less speed is better with sanding. Now, I'm just showing you this. I'm going to not do the whole thing here, but you can see what I'm trying to achieve but I want to get you on to the next grouping so that you can follow up. I'm going to burn all of this, and then I'm going to do this. And I'm going to ask you if you would also do that so that when we get to the next video, this will be done, okay? So I'm going to do all of this, but then here's what I want you to do down here. I'm going to jump a little bit into this grouping. Now, I'm going to, again, I'm coming from the outside in. I'm burning in. Doing the exact same thing we did above here. Like so. And then I come over here. Take a 45-degree angle, get right in there. Then I'm going to come, now all of these are going to mimic half of that feather. Okay, you're not going to see a quill because it's on top of each other. So this direction is going to come right off of here. So we're coming off the same direction that we started here. And we do this. 45ing to this edge. Okay. And then I 45 to this edge. I go 45 into this edge. I just mimic what I just did in the same direction. So if you look at these, this will guide you. As long as you keep it in the same direction. And if you skip a spot, like I just did there, you just come back with a lighter burn right through there. Okay? And we keep it going. But just watch your direction. Okay. Now, I just hope I did this in camera range. So I'm going to do all of this. I'm really jumping on this one. Come back and even that out. And you try not to burn up onto these burnt feathers already, okay? You're trying to control the burn within the feather you're dealing with and not trying to burn other feathers. See? Get this. Once you get the first stroke in, then you're just mimicking it right on down the line. And it's not as troublesome. Because you want to try to make it idiot-proof in a sense that you're just doing the same thing, you know, and once you get the first stroke in, then okay. And if you go off slightly on an angle, it's not going to be too noticeable, but you want to try to make it look uniform. And if you really get crazy, sand it out. Do it again. See? Then I take a stroke. Follow it. If I don't get close enough, I come back with a lighter burn. Just rake it in there is what I call it. Okay. There. And you want to get yourself into a nice position so you're steady and you're concentrating, and it's not as difficult, you know. You want to be relaxed. I always like to me, burning makes me feel relaxed in doing this. And I try to take that approach. If you're not, I know sometimes when I come down to try to create something and it's not going right, I'll walk away from it. So sometimes it's better to do that and get it going, you know. And sometimes everything you're doing is just going right, you know. So it's things you gotta determine for yourself. But I know I've had my moments. I've never given up on a piece, but I've come close. And I don't think I've shown it, but I'll have to show you my first piece that I did that inspired me to do this. So there we are. This is all burnt, okay? It's all in the same direction going down. And we will complete all of this, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I would hope that you would do the same thing we do here. And if you want, you can mark this out too. And like I said, they start out about 4 millimeters apart. And then when they get to about here, they go 5. They get a little wider as they come down, okay? So if you have the pattern, that would help because it shows you. And this is really where the widening of the band, you can see better. This top view is a little misleading because it looks like it's pulling in tight, but it isn't. It's expanding out. So I hope you got something out of this. If you did, I'd ask you to give me a thumbs up, and if you would subscribe to my channel. And I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, and you know of somebody that may be interested in getting to do this, if you can put them onto my channel, that would greatly help me too. And if you have any comments, and please comment on the comment section of the video, and any questions, hey, I'm open for it. If you're looking for the project or any of my projects that I've done, the cardinal, the wren, the chickadee, what have you, I have kits on these and bits I have available. I have burning units. I have the grinders. And if you're interested in anything, definitely get in touch with me. And I will see if we can't take care of you. So see you on the next video, and we're marching on down here, and then we're going to have to start excavating out, I think, on the tail and what have you, and doing a little more. So we'll see you on the next video, and I hope you enjoyed this. Bye now.